Happy Friday, powerful leaders. As you might have noticed, I took a little break from posting any new episodes. I got sick a few weeks ago and I'm still resting and recuperating. For me, the holiday season is all about taking care of myself, pouring into my own cup, self care, and really resting. We really need to focus on our well being when entering in this new year. And I wish you all a lot of rest, joy, happiness, restoration, anything your soul needs to really be the best you can be and really thrive in your business, in your life. And this next guest is all about that. She is an amazing person. I got to know her a few years ago online, and she has this incredible story of how her mom's cancer was truly the catalyst in her owning her gifts and growing her business. And she's such an inspiring person, and I cannot wait for you to hear her story. So without further ado, please welcome Emily Brandenburg. Welcome to the Powerful Female Leaders Podcast. I'm your host, Anna Patricia Bourgeois, certified business coach. I am here to help you up-level, generate consistent wealth, increase your confidence, attract dream clients, and master your mindset so that you can fully own your power and achieve next level results in your online business and beyond. Every week, a powerful conversation will take place with amazing guests, or I'll share from my experience to help inspire you to start and scale the business of your dreams while being powerfully you. The time has come to stop playing small, stop hiding, and stop waiting. Now is the perfect time for you to passionately pursue your heart's desire as the powerful leader you were born to be. Are you ready? Let's do this. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Powerful Female Leaders Podcast. I am here today with Emily. Hey,
girl. Hey, how are you?
I'm good. I'm so excited to chat. It's been so long. We've been talking about it. So
I know.
Yeah.
Divine timing.
Exactly. Right around the holidays. And it's so fun. So I know people would love to hear about who you are, what you do, and what got you into what it is that you do.
Who am I? Like, what a question, you know?
Yeah.
How do you define yourself? Oh my gosh. So I started my business. Actually, it was kind of birthed out of something very tragic, which you may be familiar with. I feel like you and I have chatted about this at some point, but my mom passed away in 2017 from breast cancer. And at the same time, like within a 6-week time period, I relocated from my home to another state, bought my first house, and lost my mom. Like those four big things within a 6-week time period. My ex-husband had just like the job interview process had been going since like that spring when we didn't even know like my mom was going to be like that. Like we knew she had cancer, but the doctors were just like her prognosis was just not terrible, and obviously they were wrong there. But so we had this process like already going and couldn't stop it at that point. Like we were moving, it was happening. He had accepted the job and we needed a place to live. So literally within 6 weeks, I did all those four things. Like instead of spreading them out, I'm like, let's get them all over in like a 6 month time period.
Wow.
So kind of fast forward, got to the state of Virginia. I just moved from Ohio, got to the state of Virginia, didn't know anybody. I had a very active social life, big family, lots of friends in Cincinnati. I get to this sleepy little Virginia town in the Shenandoah Valley, which was just beautiful, but it was a small town and I didn't know anybody. And I had to quit my job to move there, obviously. And I was like, what am I going to do? And so I was just like, I won't get into the like depths of the grief that I went through that first year at least, but I really looked at that. I was like, okay, this is my chance to reinvent myself. I had been wanting to start a business for the past couple of years, I had no, actually, since like my mom passed in 2017. So it was like 2015 where I first got the itch to do something else. I was sitting in my office looking outside and I was like, this is miserable. I don't want to be at my job. Like, and so I knew something was brewing. And then all these things happen. And if any of you listening has ever lost a parent or had experienced any kind of great loss, not just a parent, but
Mm-hmm.
any kind of great loss,
Mm-hmm.
it changes you
Mm-hmm.
so much. So much. And I
Mm-hmm.
found, at least for me, it was like, what am I waiting for?
Mm-hmm.
My mom had a fairly good prognosis. They said 8 to 10 years, but probably longer
Wow.
because the treatments, and she had a very slow growing form of breast cancer. And she died in two.
Wow.
So it was, yeah. And I was like, what am I waiting for? So I decided, okay, I'm going to start exploring. And I just
Mm.
started getting curious.
Yeah.
What interested me? What things did I enjoy? What brought me happiness? What put a smile on my face? And I start hopping on all of these free webinars for all the things,
Yeah.
like web design, graphic design, um, all of the things. And I ended up landing on social media
Mm.
because of an experience that I started
Mm-hmm.
having, particularly with
Mm-hmm.
Instagram, where like none of my people really understood what I was going through. Like,
Mm.
and I'm now divorced, and all of the people in my life at that time were so emotionally unavailable. Like they couldn't even like deal with their own emotions, let alone
Wow.
my extreme heavy emotions where I would just go into
Yeah.
full on heaving sobs every single day that first year after my mom died. And so there was one day in particular where I was just like in so much pain. And I was like, I know there are other people like this that are struggling. Like, where are they? How do I find them? It's not
Mm.
like I'm just going to go to a bar and be like, hey, like, you know what I mean? Like, and it was the craziest thing. I actually went to Instagram and started looking up hashtags about grief. And I came across like 6 different women over the course of a few weeks who had all gone through a significant loss. And a few of them had lost their mom. One had lost her partner in a really tragic way. And do you know that to this day, those women are still here for me and vice versa?
Wow. That's
Like, if that does not
incredible.
speak to the power of connecting on social media,
Yeah.
I don't know what does. And like that, when that happened, I remember I was like sitting in my room and I just kind of looked around like, do people know about this? And I was like, okay, and that's when I really started to feel a
Yeah.
spark. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, okay, it's going to have something to do with social media. I don't know what it's going to look like yet, but
Yeah.
it's going to have something to do with social media. So
For
thus the business was
sure.
born.
I love it. Like this is so like going back to the roots of what
Mm,
social media is all about, you know?
right? Right?
Like I
Yeah.
love the connection part. I love that you can find the people who get you, they get what you go through, and they're
Hmm.
there to help you and support you and be a safe space for you. And I feel like
Yeah.
it's such a beautiful thing to have. And sometimes we forget we have it at our fingertips, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I see so much bitching, people just complaining that, oh, Instagram is slow rolling their posts and they're not putting their like posts in front of people, their reach is less, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, sis, what are you like? Stop putting the power of your business into the hands of a platform
Yeah.
you don't own.
For real.
Like, what? Like, take your power back.
Yeah.
Take your power back. Like, stop worrying about like so many people that I have come across and a lot of clients that I've worked with, they come to me with this mentality of like posting and then
Mm,
ghosting, where they run behind
mm.
a door and they peek out like, did anybody buy my thing? Has anyone DM'd me yet? Kind of thing, as if Instagram is going to literally be like, okay, we're going to take this post and absolutely put it in front of like 20 people who are ready to buy. And like, that's just not how it works. Like, girlfriend, you got to market yourself. Get back to the basics.
Yes,
Get back to
exactly.
connecting and networking. It's the
Exactly.
same with like if you're climbing the corporate ladder and you are at a
Mhm,
networking event. If you are hanging out
mhm,
in the corner, not being social with anybody, you're probably not going to get very far with that.
mm-mm,
But if
exactly.
you're out there talking, chatting, connecting with people, handing out business cards, that's going to be a game changer for you. It might not
Mm,
happen immediately, but after 3 or 4 events over the course of a few months, you're going to
mhm.
start getting actual connections that are going to really help pivot you to climb that ladder.
Exactly. I love that you said that. Oh my gosh, like honestly, like yes, social media is powerful. There's no denying
Totally.
it.
Yeah,
But it's all about like you being intentional and willing to put yourself out there and actually create connections and form
absolutely.
relationships that will last, you know?
Absolutely. I see
And
so many women becoming these like content queens, right? Where
mm,
all they're doing is churning out this incredible content, but they're getting nowhere with it.
mm,
And then after a year of becoming these incredible content queens,
mm-hmm.
they get fed up and then they disappear from the platform for months, sometimes years on end. They're like, I just can't do it anymore. This is just, it's not doing anything. I haven't gotten one single sale from that. And it's like, you were going
Yeah.
about it the entire wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Exactly.
there comes a point where you have enough content. I mean, of course, content is important. We need content. But once you reach that level where your content like
Mm,
is present, obviously if you're a new account and you don't have any content yet,
yeah.
that's a problem. But like once you reach a point where your content is present, you can actually slow that down and start focusing more on the
Mm-hmm.
connecting with people and networking with people and going out there
Mm-hmm.
and having
Exactly.
conversations, starting
Exactly.
conversations with people. The
Yeah.
amount of friendships I have made, like I'm
Mm-hmm.
not even kidding, lifelong friendships I have made
Mm-hmm.
through just connecting with people over a random post on social media. I am talking like at least 30 different women I would consider some of my close friends that I talk to on a regular basis, all because of connecting on Instagram.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I feel like it's also one of the reasons why I started my podcast, right?
Yeah.
Because it's so fun to like connect on a call and have a
Yeah.
chat and like get to know people and give them a platform for them to share their stories. Like it's so powerful. And I feel like that's why I love it so much too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
I agree. I love it's
Mhm.
really beautiful to see how like just a random comment that you leave on someone's post or like a random follow and then all of a
Mhm.
sudden you start messaging. It's so fascinating to me how that can turn into such a beautiful friendship. People like I have never met in person. Most of these people, like, do you remember growing up? I'm probably a little older than you, but it was like, don't talk to strangers on the internet. And I've literally built a business around talking to strangers on the internet.
Crazy.
My mom would just roll over in her grave.
Yeah. I love it. Oh my God. Yeah. So you started your business around social media, and I think
Mm-hmm.
you also help other businesses with their social media, correct?
I do. I do. So it's interesting. I actually started in a really weird
Mm.
industry in the US. Um, I know it's kind of funny. The antiques world. So antique shows,
Ooh.
antique dealers, and enthusiasts.
Hmm.
And that was because I grew up in the antique business, and
Hmm.
my husband at the time was working for an auction house, and we just started going to antique shows and things like that. And people would see me and be like, "You're
Whoa.
young. Can you? We've just started this show. Can you? What would you charge to run our Instagram account? Could you run Facebook ads?" And like, and so that's essentially how I got my start. But then
Mm.
realized very quickly these are not exactly the people I wanted to work with full time. Now I still have like the clients that I still have from the
Yeah.
antiques world are incredible. Like there's I do a lot with the show promoters
Hmm.
and promoting some of the really fancier antique shows, one of which takes
Hmm.
place at the Philadelphia Museum of Art, which the
Oh
first
wow.
time I received a paycheck from the Philadelphia Museum of Art, I was like, all right, I don't if I'm there yet, but I'm somewhere. Like,
Yeah.
so that was kind of
Wow.
a big deal. But it, around the time that the pandemic
Mm-hmm.
hit, I was like, I really, really want to start working with female entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to start helping women get their businesses up and running, get their social media running, I also do web design on the side. So like I just felt such a calling because I did not have a lot of supportive people when
Mm-hmm.
I went to start my business. Um my my ex-husband was like fine with it. He didn't care what I did. He was like, "Oh, you want to do that? That's great. Oh, you want to do that? Oh, that's great too." Like he had no opinion, so that was fine. But like
Oh
my
my God.
family,
Yeah.
um, like I remember when I first kind of dipped
Mm-hmm.
my toe into technology a little bit, I was hired as a technology support manager for an entire school district. Now, this was right around the time
Whoa.
where I started thinking about starting a business, but
Mm-hmm.
wasn't there yet. And I remember talking to my aunt, and she said that when she told my cousin that a school district hired me to be the tech support manager, she was like, "We all had a good laugh. No one could believe that anyone would hire you to do that." And I
Wow.
was like, "Thanks, guys.
Wow.
Thanks for the support." But yeah, I don't know. It just became something that I was
Mm-hmm.
like, no one believed in me. I had to believe in myself.
Mm-hmm.
And if
Mm-hmm.
I could plant that seed of belief into another woman, because I know there are plenty of women out there who don't have
Mm-hmm.
supportive family or supportive people in their lives. And if
Yep.
I can be that person for another woman and get her to launch a
Mm.
business that's going to change lives, I am all about it.
Mm. So what would
All
you
about it.
tell that person that's listening right now and they're going through it? What would you say to them?
Mm. What would I say to them? You hear all these things like
Mm-hmm.
never give up, don't stop. But one thing that I always say, and I've always said this,
Mm-hmm.
is that failure doesn't exist. Because if you are quote unquote failing, then that means you're trying. And
Mm-hmm.
if you are trying, you're never actually failing.
Mm.
Business is not finite, it's fluid. It is
Mm-hmm.
based on a foundation of trial and error. So if something isn't working for you now, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Tweak it, try it again. That is
Mm-hmm.
literally what business is about. Tweak
Yep.
it, try it again. Tweak it, try it again.
Yes, I love it. That's amazing. And I ask this to everyone who comes on the show. For you, what does it mean to be like a powerful leader?
Mm. I think when I really embodied that and felt that was when I
Mm-hmm.
had taken my coaching business, when I really started pivoting and I really started bringing in those dream clients of those female entrepreneurs that I wanted to work with.
Mm-hmm.
And when I helped a client with her like big breakthrough,
Mm-hmm.
I have never felt more powerful in my life than when I helped that woman. She launched her coaching business and I
Wow.
helped her coach her through that. And it was such a beautiful experience. And just going back, I was coaching her in Boxer and we were just going back and forth. And she was like, "Oh my gosh, Emily, I've done it. I've put it out there. I've actually done it." And I was literally, I will never forget this. I was in the Adirondacks. We were technically on vacation, but because my work doesn't feel like work. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't typically take time off even when I'm on vacation. And I remember jumping up and down. We were actually
Mm.
staying in a camper, this beautiful setting. And the mountain was in the background, the sun was setting, and I was just like screaming for joy for her. Like, yes, she did it.
Yeah.
It was
Oh,
just incredible.
I love that feeling. Yeah, I've had
I
that
know.
feeling too. I know
I'm
exactly what you
sure.
talk
I
about.
know. It's like because,
Yeah.
knowledge and understanding are two different things.
Yep.
And that is something that I've had to deal with a lot with my business and mental health
Yep.
stuff and just, all kinds of things. It's like I'll hear the stuff,
Yeah.
but to understand it. And so when you're coaching someone and you're giving all of this information to them and they're taking all this knowledge and
Mm.
they're trying to wrap their heads around it. And when that switch just like flips for them and they're like, oh my gosh, I get it.
I get it now.
I know. It's just the absolute best feeling in the world. And you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I just want to do this all the time, which I kind of do because it's my business. So
Yeah. I love it. Such a beautiful, beautiful thing when it happens. And do you have, like any last piece of wisdom, anything that you truly want to share with our audience today?
yeah. Something that I see a lot with female entrepreneurs
Hmm.
is that many of them are wanting to actually slow down, but they're wanting to grow or start something. And
Mm.
they, we're coming from this place of hustle mindset. Like most people have experienced, a workplace that's like work hard. You got to work harder, and they don't want you to have breaks. And like most of us have
Mm.
experienced that, if not all of us. And they come to me and they essentially they're wanting to slow down, but they don't know how, and they start acting on these false sense of urgencies
Mm.
that are basically like, if you don't do this now, you never will.
Mm.
Or if you don't buy this program now, or if you don't do this now, you'll never get your business up and running.
Mm.
And I just want anyone listening to this to say, if this sounds like them, if you've ever experienced a moment where you have felt this sense of urgency that you have to act now, or else that's
Mhm.
it, I encourage you to pause instead.
Mhm.
Pause instead, take a step back, take a few deep breaths, and be like, you know what? I'm going to leave this for a day and I'm going to come back to it.
Mm.
Because that false sense of urgency, it keeps us in this like anxious state. And
Mhm.
whenever we're in that anxious state and wherever we're creating from this place of this like sense of urgency, everything is going to come out forced and not the
Mm.
natural way it's supposed to come out of us. So I encourage you to just pause and see what happens when you do. And I would
Mm.
love, if anyone tries this, please find me on Instagram. I would love, I would love to hear your experience with it.
Yeah, that was actually my next question. Where can we go? Connect with you, send you a message.
I
Uh,
am I am
mm.
obsessed with the gram. So you can find me there, EB Design Agency. Um, my website is currently under construction, but it is ebdesignagency.com as well. But I am primarily on Instagram, so you can definitely find me there. I post all kinds of helpful information. But one thing you won't see me post, even though I am a social media person, you will not see me post things like top 10 pieces of content to post today. Like those kinds of you you will see me going a lot deeper about
Mm.
social media. I go deep with like
Mhm.
just the underlying issues of why, it's
Mhm.
difficult to post certain types of content or why it's difficult for you to launch your business or things like that. I go deep with my
Mhm.
content. So you're
Mm.
not going to see a lot of that like
Mm-mm.
surface social media stuff. But I
Yeah,
share lots
all
of really
those
great things.
yeah. Like I love your posts and I feel like
Thank
your
you.
stories are really deep sometimes and I always
They
get
are.
yeah, I get really good messages from them and I'm
Oh, I
always
love it.
reminded to slow down and all the beautiful landscapes that you post. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
she's living the best life, being a nomad and going there and doing that.
Yeah. Nature, I am a Taurus. I am an earth
Yeah.
sign. So nature is like a part
Yeah.
of me. And so I love sharing
Yeah.
images from
Incredible.
where we are traveling. My partner and I have been, we are about to celebrate our 2 year nomadic anniversary of
Wow.
traveling for 2 years. I'm like, where did those 2 years go? How is that a thing?
Wow. Incredible.
I know.
Congratulations. That's
Thank
awesome.
you. I know. I know. Well, now with like the cost of living and everything going up, like
Yeah.
it's like this is like the cheapest option to like, which is kind of funny. So, as long as it keeps working for us, like we're gonna
Yeah.
we're gonna keep doing it. So
Exactly. So
yeah.
go follow Emily, go follow her adventures. Like, it's
Thank you.
awesome. Thank you so much for coming on the
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm so glad, it only took a year, but I'm so
show.
glad I'm finally here.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Powerful Female Leaders podcast. If you love this episode, make sure to spread the message, leave a review, and subscribe. I would forever be grateful for you. I also want to hear from you, and I want to know your feedback and your questions for future episodes. So don't be shy, say hi, and send me a message at Powerful Female Leaders Podcast on Instagram. Until then, I'll see you on the next episode.